I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce some melodic ideas for you to practice. As bass players, normally we'll play the root of a chord when we're soloing or when we're comping, which is usual, of course, for a bassist to do. And I'd like to change the solo concept at this moment. Instead of always starting on a root, for example, in a B-flat 7 blues, bassists usually will start on the root. Most bass players do. What I'd like to propose are some exercises that would be able to offer you other melodic possibilities. So on this B-flat 7 blues, which is a bar of B-flat 7, a bar of E-flat 7, 2 bars of B-flat 7, a bar of E-flat 7, another bar, B-flat 7, G7, C7, F7, and then 2 beats apiece, B-flat, G7, C7, and F7. And then we're back at the top. In this form, Richard Drexler on piano and I are going to play, and I'm going to solo, and I'm going to play the 3rd and the 7th of each chord. In this case, I'm going to start out on a D and an A flat on the B-flat 7 of the chord. And then you will accordingly, on each subsequent chord of the B-flat 7 blues, you'll solo on any 3rd and any 7th in the chord. And I'd like to give an example of that right now. So we'll do it like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A little something at the end. I like to give you a couple of other notes in order to practice something special, and what I'll do at this time is I want to do it on the 9, which is, in this case in B flat, it'll be the C, which is the 9th, and the 5th. So the 2 notes you're going to play are actually going to be the 9th and the 5th on each of these chords. So let's do a blues there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'd like to demonstrate a B-flat blues where I'll be playing the 9s and the 11s. In this case, it'll be starting out with the C on a B-flat 7 chord and playing the E, which is the sharp 11 of the chord. And the chords will change accordingly, so the tension usage here, the 9s and the 11s will also change. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Now I want to do something where I want to play a chord tone solo for everybody, which is now going to be on the blues, and it's going to be based on root, third, fifth, and seventh. By doing this, you can cover a lot of sound as a bassist, as a soloist, pretty well kind of starting to now participate, I would say, in the piano area of soloing or guitar area, in that the pianist, generally speaking as a solo instrument, as a melodic player, will deal in chords, you know, in chord substitutions and chordal playing, more than scales often. Chords are usually more interpreted by melodic musicians, let's say, than a scale might, because a chord defines the tonality and a scale sort of alludes to it. So I'm going to do a chord tone solo, 1, 3, 5, 7, and I want you to hear this and see if you can't notice the way that the bass now fits into a piano or a guitar-oriented area as a solo instrument. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, that puts a very strong emphasis on the tonality for us, where we can start to make sounds, and I can do this and not have a piano player here, and just play it as a solo, and you can hear that the bass player can really represent the chord and the tonality all by himself. And I can play this. And there's a strength there, and I would even do chord substitutions, which changes the chordal element of my bass playing a little bit, but it makes it strong because of the fact that I'm defining the chord sound so strongly. 1, 3, 5, 7 is a great, let's say, sequence of notes for bass players to work on. Now there's another sequence, and again, we're in a DVD situation here, so there's maybe a couple of billion lessons that I personally know and have at the Players School of Music and under my belt, things that I practice and things that I work on. But for the sake of this, I'm going to give you a few ideas and try to, let's say, anticipate the people and their level and your level of bass playing that might get something beneficial out of this. So I'm going to now demonstrate a triad beginning on the 9, sharp 11, and 13.